Summary of Act 1, Scene 1. The play begins in the city of Rome, where the plebeians are rioting against their leaders, in short, the patrician class, whom they accuse of hoarding grain while the common people starve. They are willing to die than to starve to death. The plebeians believe that they have the right to set the price of grain rather than accept that which has been imposed on them by the Senate. They single out Caius Marcius, a general, a decorated war hero, as their chief enemy. As they make way to the capital, they are approached by Menenius, who tells them that the patricians have their interests at heart. He compares the role that the Senate plays in Rome to the role of the stomach in the human body. The stomach is a storehouse. It collects the food that comes in. But yet, after manufacturing all the ingredients, it dispenses them through the rest of the body, through the veins. It is the body, it is the stomach that sends energy and nutrients to the eyes to see, the ears to hear, the legs to walk, and so on and so forth. In similar manner, he uses this imagery to show that the patricians collect and dispense grain to the entire city and take decisions which are to the benefit of the Roman Republic in general. Menenius and the rioters argue, while Marcius comes in and delivers a general curse to the mob, calling them dogs and cowards. He informs Menenius that the Senate has agreed to allow the plebeians to elect 5 tribunes or representatives who will represent their interests in the Roman Senate. And Coriolanus believes that it is a wrong decision, because to him, it is a precedent that's going to pave way for future rebellion. A messenger comes bringing news that Vulture, one of Rome's enemies among the Italian tribes, is aiming or has declared war against Rome. Marcius declares that the war will be good for their city and confirms that some of these people, the commoners, will be killed when they take them to the war. The Volscians are led by a great general called Tellus Ophidus, whom even Marcius respects to be a worthy adversary. A group of senators order Cominius, the consul or the magistrate of Rome, and Titus Latius, another patrician, to command the impending war, while Marcius will act as lieutenant under Cominius. The crowd disperses and the senators return to the capital to prepare for the war against the Volscians. But the plebeians have already elected their tribunes, Sicinius and Brutus. These two have kept a close watch on Marcius' behavior and conclude that he is very proud and domineering. Sicinius wonders if Marcius will be able to listen or take orders while serving under the command of Cominius. They accuse him of being too proud and that whatever thing that he has done and the fighting that he has done for Rome, he has done it purely for fame and to please his mother. But, ironically, even though Marcius is the second in command to Cominius, if things go badly, he will escape the blame. But if things go well, he will also receive the credit for the victory, because he is the person upon whom the Roman legion or soldiers get inspiration from. The plebeians lack individual identity but constitute one of the powerful characters in the play. The commoners are taking for a rabble that can be manipulated by the place politicians who are always presented in a very negative light. Therefore, they have taken up arms against their leaders, but with a good cause. One of them says that God knows I speak in hunger for bread, not thirst for revenge. The principal complaint in this scene seems altogether reasonable and justifiable. The patricians have no right to control grain in moments of famine. Menenius attempts to respond with a story about the stomach and the body. His reaction to the plebeian is contrasted to that of Matthias, who curses them. Nevertheless, Menenius is able to make the plebeians to understand that the famine is that, or the shortage of grain is not caused by hoarding of grain, but it is natural. And if they have anybody to curse, they should curse the gods. He does not overtly take side in the political dispute. He has certain qualities. He is an orator. He's a good politician. He calms down the mob with a story, whereas Matthias sputters curses on them. Matthias' bull-headed pride and rashness may fit him well in the battlefield, but it is not good in the political arena because he does not know how to address the populace. Menenius' tale also exposes the rudimentary nature of Rome's politics after having recently chased or expelled the last king Tarquin and declared itself a republic. The city suffers from a power vacuum, and the plebeians as well as patricians want to fill that power vacuum. Each group has a different view about statehood and rulership. Matthias has participated in his youth to expel Tarquin in the war, in the rebellion, and he is poised to sit in his place. But in the Republican Rome, the kingly Matthias cannot take Tarquin's place without becoming a tyrant. Brutus and Sisinnius also see the potential of renewed tyranny in Matthias, and they express this fear at the beginning of the play, knowing that if Matthias becomes great and even becomes the consul general of Rome, their people will not have liberty. They are afraid that Matthias can destroy the popular rule that they embody. The first thematic element developed here is that of class stratification between the plebeians, patricians, and the tribunes. The patricians have power and wealth, while the plebeians have less power and wealth. They are gullible and easily manipulated, especially when faced with desperation. The plebeians become reckless under the guidance of the tribunes, who are more power-hungry. This is a play which handles the balance of power between the patricians and the common class. Another thematic issue raised here is pride. As the citizens identify Matthias' shortcoming, pride will be one of the determinations that will bring the fate that will befall Matthias at the end of the play, and also becomes one of the shortcomings for which he is hated by the common people. Stylistically, there is a use of metaphor when Menenius compares the Senate to the human stomach. This metaphor signifies the futility of rising up for the sake of grain where there is none to gain. He uses this imagery to personify the superiority of the patrician and their right to govern over the volatile and easily led masses. He blames them for ingratitude. He is also able to win over the plebeians for the time being, and this parable explains the working of the Roman state. There is contrast between Menenius and Matthias. Menenius is old, wise, has great wit and skills to negotiate. He is also peaceful and reasonable, and a great statesman as well. On the other hand, Matthias is young, choleric, full of disdain, proud, and has no skills with which to deal with the common class or masses. He is a soldier, not a statesman, and lacks humility, patience, and other skills. He needs to work within the Senate and among the people. Also, note their various tones, as Matthias is rash and angry in an area that Menenius has proven himself calm and wise. Although he is rash, Matthias is right about the plebeians as he fears that they can be used by the tribunes to fulfill their wishes. He, like Menenius, shared the same sentiments that there is little grain for everyone and that the people are ungrateful for rising up against the protective state. But he does not do so with grace and conciliatory ability that Menenius possesses or is known for. There is foreshadowing. When the tribunes surface at the end of the scene with disdain and bitter comment, signifying the latter's revolt against Caius Marcius. They are correct in their appraisal of Marcius as an overtly proud man, but they completely underestimate his value to the state. The man may have some flaws, but he is an asset to the militaristic state of Rome, which is surrounded by so many enemies such as the Volscians. Lastly, there is irony when the plebeians focus on Marcius's human weaknesses and forget that he is an asset to Rome when it comes to its survival. The tribune cast him enemy number one of the state, yet he is one of the few who can get Rome out of the challenges posed by the Volscian state and its great warrior, Tellus Ophidius.